Here's your excuse to get crazy with colour.
Hello and welcome to my channel, and welcome to my kitchen. This is me, and today we're messing with some sponge cake.
When it comes to sponge cake, most people think of a classic vanilla sponge, but we're going to get a little bit extra interesting today with some white chocolate. To create our base, we're going to start by melting our butter, white chocolate, and then adding some vanilla and cream. Using this method will amplify the level of flavour in our cake. And it's important to choose a good quality white chocolate. I'm using Cadbury Dream because I find it's the creamiest. Carefully control your temperature and stir continuously until everything is blended and smooth. Take it off the heat and transfer it into a heat-proof bowl, and we're going to pop this aside for about 20 minutes to cool down. We're going to work with it at room temperature so we don't scramble our eggs. Sponge cake is usually considered pretty hard, but it's actually very easy. It just has extra steps. And in case you don't quite feel up to it yet, I've covered all of these steps in previous videos. This is going to be a birthday cake for my son, so it's going to end up being big and it needs a lot of eggs. For a sponge cake, you'll need to separate your yolks and whites because we need to whip the whites separately. Stick around to the end to find out the theme for the birthday cake, and if you've got some ideas as to where I'm going with this, let me know in the comments. We're going to use our yolk first to pop the whites in the fridge. You can make sponge cake by hand, but it's so much easier with an electric mixer. While on a low speed, we're going to gradually add our egg yolks to our white chocolate mixture. So I'm pretty new to the production side of this, and every time I film in full HD, I get that same glitch. If you know what's going on, please let me know. Once all of your egg yolks are combined, slowly add half the total amount of sugar. We're going to add the second half to our egg whites. Still on a low speed, we're going to add our baking powder and keep going until it's combined. So this part's optional, but I'm adding some violet food colouring from the Wilton Gel collection because the character I'm doing today is purple. This character is from a movie. They are a recent released movie, and it was a 15-year-old who requested it. Colouring your sponge cake is completely up to you, and I choose the Wilton colours because I find they're more vibrant. For this recipe, the trick is in the technique, and when you get a handle of that, you can make it any flavour you like. Transfer your mixture into another bowl, and it's time to add our flour. We're using self-raising flour, and with a wooden spoon or a spatula, carefully fold your mixture together until all the flour is only just combined. It's important to know the difference between stirring and folding, so if you've got any questions, let me know in the comment section. Next, we're going to add our milk, and you can use any kind of milk you like, but you want it to be room temperature. I usually put mine in the microwave for about 10 seconds rather than leaving it out. Carefully fold again, making sure that you get all of the bits and pieces that are at the bottom of the bowl. And at this point, I'm not completely sure of the colour, so I'm going to add a little bit more because this character has a very distinctive colour. You want to continue folding until everything's combined and smooth, and then we'll pop it aside for later. Next, we need to meringue our egg whites. Add them all to a fresh bowl with a pinch of salt, and whip on high until you get a cloud-like texture. Gradually add the remaining sugar, and then whip on high until it's dissolved. Make sure you check out my unicorn meringue episode for more information on this technique. We need to add some more food colouring to this portion of the cake because when we add the egg whites to the rest of the batter is going to become duller in colour. For another hint on who this character might be, it's also from a game. Give it one last quick whip to get all of the colour combined, and then it's time for our final stage. And this is usually where people make mistakes. We just added a lot of air into that egg, and that's what gives the sponge cake its structure. We need to add the two mixtures together and fold them carefully so as to not deflate the egg. Keep adding and folding gradually until both are completely combined. Don't forget to scrape your edges, and once everything is smooth and evenly combined, we need to pop it in the fridge for about 20 minutes, which is plenty of time to preheat our oven to 150 degrees. It'll also give you plenty of time to prepare your baking tins. You can use any tins you like. I'm choosing a set that allow me to do a little bit less cutting with my overall design at the end. If you're only here for the sponge cake, don't worry, I won't drag you through all of the carving and cutting, but if you are here for the design and the cutting and the process, I'm going to show you exactly what it took to get this cake done in my next video, which is only a few days away. I figured, why not show you exactly what it takes from start to finish to plan and process one of these designer cakes. And that way, maybe you can do one too. It is a lot easier once you know what goes into it. Regardless of the tins you use, make sure you don't overfill them and give them a quick tap on the bench before popping them in the oven for about 45 minutes to 1 hour, depending on the size of the tin. After about 2 minutes, take them out of the tins and pop them upside down, and they'll be ready to cut and decorate as soon as they're cool. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss when I turn this into William Afton from Five Nights at Freddy's.
So thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video and I look forward to seeing you again next week.